Hey, what up, guys? Doing another What's Next. This is on former world title challenger Michael Hunter. He's currently tied for ninth in a three-way tie for ninth in the heavyweight division right now. He's coming off of his career best performance, not win, because he fought to a draw with former world champion Alexander Povetkin in December of last year on the Andrew Ruiz, Anthony Joshua rematch undercard. So, he's got some high praise for that. But nothing has materialized for him since then. Hunter is hungry. He wants to get in there. He fights for Matchroom. So let's take a look at what's next for Michael Hunter. Well, let's run through the top 10. We start with number 1, undefeated Tyson Fury. Not going to happen next. Fury has a mandatory obligated fight with Deontay Wilder for the WBC title. I don't think he would consider Michael Hunter anyways. Not a big enough name. Number 2 is Anthony Joshua, the two-time unified heavyweight champ. Not going to happen next or anytime soon. Joshua has Kubrat Pulev next. After that, he's going to have to face Alexander Usyk in a WBO mandatory. So Michael Hunter, not in the line for either one of those right now. Number 3 is former longtime WBC champ Deontay Wilder. Wilder, not going to happen next. Wilder has a mandatory fight with Fury next. And, probably wouldn't be an option anyways. That'd be PBC working with Matchroom. And, not likely to happen next. Number 4 is Andy Ruiz Jr. I wouldn't completely rule it out. Both these guys are highly rated by, the IBF. They're number 3 and 4, respectively. Wouldn't completely rule it out, but I don't think it's going to happen next. I think Ruiz is going to come back, make a mandatory. Make an optional defense, face somebody, a lower level opponent. And I don't think he'd consider a guy like Hunter, not next anyways. Number 5 is Luis Ortiz. Michael Hunter could probably get this fight if he wanted it. Luis Ortiz is willing to fucking fight anybody. It's amazing to me that he's still the boogeyman in the heavyweight division. Guys aren't willing to step up and fight him. Personally, I don't think Michael Hunter wants to take the risk against a guy like Ortiz, especially when PBC has to work a Matchroom to get it to happen. But you never know. They could set up some kind of eliminator and go at it. Michael Hunter's got to be willing. Personally, I don't think he is. But he might get desperate enough to do it, so you never know. Number 6 is Alexander Usyk. Not going to happen next. Usyk is facing Derek Chisora next to solidify his mandatory position, and then he's going after the WBO title next. Next guy up on the list is Joseph Parker if Anthony Joshua decides to not make that mandatory defense after the Pulev fight. So we'll see. But yeah, Usyk and Michael Hunter don't really have a chance. And that would be a rematch anyways of a fight of Michael Hunter's only defeat in the cruiserweight division a few years ago. He challenged Usyk for the cruiserweight title and lost a clean unanimous decision. Next at number 7 is Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is currently the WBC's interim champion and lining himself up to face. He's actually going to face Alexander Povetkin on July 2nd and then be in line for the Wilder Fury 3 winner after that. So him and Hunter is not happening next or anytime soon. Number 8 is former WBO champion Joseph Parker. Now here's a fight that I believe could happen. Parker is desperate for opponents. Michael Hunter is desperate for opponents. These guys are both ranked in the WBO, highly in the WBO, and they're both with Matchroom. It's an easy fight to make. So I think this fight actually probably happens next. They both want bigger name opponents, and they're both with the same promotional company. Why not face each other? I know Parker doesn't want to risk his number 2 position, but he might have to because unless Anthony Joshua vacates the WBO title instead of facing Alexander Usyk next, he's gonna have to wait around for a while. Is what's his name? Michael Hunter or Joseph Parker would have to wait around for a while for his WBO title fight. So I think go solidify it. Go take on a top 10 guy. Make sure you're the number 1 contender coming when the smoke clears from Usyk and Joshua and all that stuff. And make sure you're standing there waiting for a title fight. So Michael Hunter could be, I think it's very possible he could face him. And then at number, the 2-way tie, the 3-way tie for ninth, the other 2 guys in it, Alexander Povetkin, a rematch. Povetkin's lined up to face Dillian White next for the interim WBC title. If he were to lose, it depends on how he loses, but Povetkin's right at the end of his career. He's 40, 41. I think another loss and he's done. So I'm favoring Dillian White to beat him. And if he does, I think he's done. And if he wins and pulls out the upset, he's lined up for something bigger with Fury or Wilder. So not going to happen, the rematch. And then the other guy tied for 9th is Kubrat Pulev. Pulev is fighting Anthony Joshua next. So I think kind of the same thing. If Pulev were to upset Joshua, he'd be focused on a bigger fight after that. And if he loses, he might be done and probably wouldn't want a fighter like Michael Hunter. So not seeing it. So that's the top 10 for Michael Hunter. What do I think he's going to do next? Personally, I think it's Joseph Parker or just stay busy opponent. Or another option is Charles Martin in an IBF title final eliminator. And here's why I say that. Right now, the number 1 is Kubrat Pulev. The number 2 is Charles Martin. And I believe Michael Hunter's sitting at the number 4. The number 3 contender, I want to say, is Alexander Usyk. But Usyk's number 1 in the IBF right now, or in the WBO. So he's not going to make an IBF go after the IBF mandatory. And Kubrat Pulev is cashing in on the mandatory. So the 2 highest rated contenders right now in the IBF are Charles Martin and Michael Hunter. And Charles Martin just won an eliminator to move up in the rankings. And the next highest guy is Michael Hunter. That might be a better option for Michael Hunter, a more beatable option. And then a mandatory title shot is due after that. That might be a quicker way to get into the title picture, quicker than Joseph Parker. But Joseph Parker's the easier fight to make because he's with the Matchroom. So it's kind of pick your poison. We'll see what goes down. But I really think Michael Hunter's going to get a decent fight next. I hope. And if not, just stay busy and keep grinding until somebody fights you and is willing to, either get a title fight or a final eliminator. All right, guys, that's it. That's what's next on Michael Hunter. Hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing. Been here with the truth.